Welcome back, everybody. My name is Taylor Martin. This is the best Damn EDC, and it's been a while since we've done one of these, but they're always a lot of fun. Unusual EDC gear. This is, I think, the fourth version of this, or the fourth edition, iteration, whatever. And because of that, I'm having to dig kind of deep to find some off-the-wall stuff. And these are meant to be fun and not taken too seriously. A lot of people in the comments are like, this is all garbage. This is junk. Why would you buy this? Some of this stuff is gimmicky on purpose. Like, I'm doing this because it's fun to find some weird, chintzy stuff. But in doing so, I've actually found some really cool things. So with that said, this is Unusual EDC V4, and let's do the damn thing. So the very first item on this list is really not too far off the beaten path at all. Bolt action pens are incredibly popular. I carry them myself, but this is something, it arrived in my P.O. box, I want to say last year. It's been a while. These things have been floating around. I had 3 of them, now I only have 2. But these are bolt action Sharpies. They're from a company called Soul Built, and this is called the Marksmith. It's all titanium construction. These have best Damn EDC lasered on them. They're available right now. I know they've been in and out of stock. They are in stock as of the recording of this video. It has the same actuation bolt design, I guess, as what was Urban Survival Gear Tie Scribe, where the clip is the bolt, which means that it can't actuate when it's in your pocket, which I think is way more crucial for a permanent marker than just a bolt action pen. But yeah, I think it's a really interesting idea. I think they're about $100. So if you take this apart and look at the cartridge on the inside, these are refillable with your own permanent ink if you want, and then you can use them until the felt tip wears out, but you can buy a replacement. I think it's a 2-pack of replacements for $5. So very cost effective after you buy the $100 housing, I guess. But there you have it. These are the Soul Built Marksmith, a bolt action, all titanium permanent marker. Okay, the next item, since we're on the topic of pens and writing utensils, is this right here. I actually learned about this at Georgia Bushcraft from a friend of mine named Brady. Never heard of it before. They're actually several years old. I think the Kickstarter for this was back in 2017, but this is the Aion Triune Pen. So it is a screw cap, all aluminum body pen. There with the cap. So inside there is a Fisher Space Pen refill. It will actually hold multiple different refills. You can adjust the length of the refill, and then there's an O-ring that goes around it, which keeps it from wiggling too much at the tip. But the pen is really like not the whole story here at all. Otherwise, this would just be a normal item, and it is not at all. So on this end, obviously, as you can see right there, there is a glass breaker, and that's also not really that interesting. The truly interesting part with the Triune Pen is this right here. Did you hear that? Right there on the very tip of the pen, can you see that? Do you know what that is? That is char cloth. So this plus this is, I probably can't do it in here. I can smell it though. It combusts. It's a fire piston. So this is a fire starter pen with a glass breaker and a Fisher Space Pen refill. That's really the whole story here, but basically, if you're really good with it, you can kind of hold it like this and smack it. I'm not gonna get it in here. We'll try it a couple more times. Oh. You see it? Look at that. There's an ember. It works. So you actually would normally take the clip off of this, because the clip you use to scoop out that ember, and then you transfer the ember to your tinder pile. So there's a lot to this pen, honestly. A lot of thought and care went into the design of it. This clip comes off and acts as a scoop. There's a spare O-ring that's kept in there. If you screw this cap off for the pen side and use the clip, you can scoop out. There's a storage compartment up here that holds some char cloth. So for $75, I think this thing is actually pretty cool. It's not super practical, but it is something that, like, it pulls double duty, triple duty even, because it has a glass breaker in the end. I'm not mad about this for 75 bucks. I don't think it's the most practical fire starter or survival tool ever, but if you want something that's in the shape and size of a pen and pulls double or triple duty, this is not a bad option. I'm pleasantly impressed with it, and I've done a lot of reading about fire pistons and stuff, and everybody's like, oh, they're finicky and I don't like them. I've gotten 2 embers out of this, and I've probably only, hit it maybe 20 or 30 times. So That's not all that bad. I think it just takes some time and practice. And then you also have to have char cloth, which that is really the biggest drawback. But I like this, honestly. It's pretty cool. Before we go any further, I want to thank our sponsor for today's video, Sculptless. You guys have probably heard me talk about Sculptless before. They make some really awesome, unique, hand-carved skulls that'll really give any room a conversation piece. They have ram, buffalo, cow, and longhorn skulls that come in a multitude of finishes such as metallic, hand-carved, and mosaic, or if you want something a little more simple, they also have a non-carved skull. And there are also several different ways to mount your skull. They have a metallic stand, a wooden wall mount, and a lamp mount to really make the skull pop. These skulls are transparently and ethically sourced, and originally started in Bali. Sculptless aims to showcase the true craftsmanship and culture of these traditional Balinese skull carvers. Let nothing go to waste is a very big part of their ethos, and also why the skulls are truly awesome. I have a buffalo skull in my studio that's been in here for quite a while now, and it was patinaed and hand engraved with what they call the antique from hell finish. It's like skull inception, and it's really awesome, and I think it really pulls the whole room together. If you've been waiting to add a skull to your walls, now is probably your best chance to do so. Sculptless is having a huge Black Friday sale. It's going to be their biggest sale they've ever had, so you can finally add that skull to your favorite room, all while taking advantage of some serious savings. If you want to check out the Black Friday sale and see everything that Sculptless has to offer, hit the link in the description down below. And once again, I want to thank Sculptless for sponsoring this video. Okay, the third item, what if I told you I've been wearing it in camera, in frame this entire time? Also, what if I told you I could start a fire with my hat? Is that clickbaity? Is that gimmicky? So this right here is a cache cap. Years ago, I think in the very first version of the unusual EDC, I included a cache belt. I didn't realize that the real cache belt was from Wazoo Survival Gear. I didn't know those guys at the time. I had no idea that they had a cache belt. They have a cache belt. I will probably do a video on the cache belt at some point, but I think this one is a little more unusual. The reason it is called the cache cap, let me get this other one down here real fast. You have a pocket right here, and then there's a sleeve that goes along the perimeter of the bill. And then in here, you have 3 additional pockets. So that's 4 pockets and then this one long sleeve. I've got this one just kind of set up with some random things. For example, along the bill here, I have a zip tie. I have 2 zip ties actually, and this little cable, which is really for keychains, but you can tie stuff up with this kind of like a little small carabiner if you need to. Just throw it in there as an example. I also have a ferro rod on this side of the sleeve that you can see right there. I can start a fire with that. And then I have inside here, inside the big pocket on the bill, it's one of these little bundles of needles and like sim removal tools, and also their ceramic knife, which you can also use to strike that ferro rod. I have a small selection of duct tape in here as well that I keep inside the big pocket right here. I have some tinder plugs on this side and another like little scalpel knife in here. The point is, you can store quite a bit of stuff in here and wear this as a normal hat, and you don't really feel it when you're wearing it. You can feel it if you push on it, obviously, but it's pretty normal. It's pretty inconspicuous. Like, obviously you got thickness to your bill, varying thickness all around it, but it's not jumping out at you, and you can store things there quite effectively, right? You could put a fire starter in your hat just in case, or a spare little itty bitty knife just in case. And that's what I think is so cool about this hat. I think they're 30 bucks. They also have a beanie that's like $80 or $90. They're out of stock right now, which I'm kind of upset about, but I think this thing is really neat. They also have a version with a patch on the front, a Velcro patch, so you can put your own patch on the front. But I'm really pleasantly surprised with this hat. It's not exactly my style. I'm more of a trucker hat kind of guy, but I like it. I don't dislike this thing at all. And if I'm backpacking or hiking or just gonna be outside, why not wear something like this? So just as an example of some other stuff you can put inside their cache belt and cache hat, you have these essentials kits. There's an everyday essentials kit, a survivals essentials kit. They've got like a steel cable, like chainsaw. You've got fishing line, fishing lures, weights, bobbers, ranger bands, tinder plugs, compasses. All these little things can be used and stored inside the hat or the belt, which I think is really, really neat. So there you have it. That is the cache hat from Wazoo Gear. I know this next one is gonna make many of you think I'm not being serious. I'm joking, or a lot of you are gonna be like, there's no way you're being serious, but I am. First, this is the very first for me. I have been or become a victim of Facebook marketing. I'm scrolling Facebook, which I rarely ever do, and I see these sunglasses and I'm like, oh, maybe they're actually really good. So I bought them. They're not cheap. These are Ombraz, O-M-B-R-A-Z. They have several different styles. I liked these with the amber lenses, and they are armless sunglasses. There's no arm. It's just a piece of string. And immediately, right off the bat, you'd think, wow, that seems really cheap. They're still selling these things for $150, but they don't even have arms. That seems like a giant ripoff, but it's not. I buy sunglasses that have arms, and then I buy a cord to put on the end of it anyway. And it's not like the arms on sunglasses are some very expensive piece of it. It's probably not much more expensive for the arms of sunglasses than this piece of string, this rope. And the fail point on many sunglasses is almost always going to be the arm. If it's not this little thin piece right up here at the top of the lens on the frame, it's usually the arm. The screws wear out. You constantly have to tighten them. I thought these were kind of gimmicky at first, but they're not. So you just put them on like this. I have to get them under my hair because I have long hair. And you just put them up over your... Now they just look like normal sunglasses, right? For the most part. Most people don't know that I have armless sunglasses. They do move around, but they're not even that tight on my head at all. Like, I can just do this. I already put croquis on my sunglasses. I don't have to now. It's just built in. They just work. They're good. I like them. I've been wearing them for weeks. I really like these. I don't know what else to say. We'll see if they withstand the test of me, because I'm really bad about breaking sunglasses, but this removes one of the two of the biggest fail points in sunglasses. And if the cord breaks, theoretically, I can just tie my own back on. I don't know. We'll see. I kind of like the idea. I'm not sure if it's for everybody. Probably not. But I am a fan of these. They are unusual. They're weird. They're different. I know that most of you are going to be like, you're full of shit. There's no way you like these, but I do. I bought them myself with my own money as a victim of marketing, a direct victim of Facebook marketing. I have not contacted the company. I have no affiliate with them. I like them. There you have it. Ombraz sunglasses, $150. They're not cheap, but I do like them. So I was gonna do kind of the same bit as I did with the Wazoo hat, wearing it and saying that this next time I'm wearing it the whole time, except for this is just not big enough. This company like markets this thing as a wearable, but they did not account for someone with my size wrist when they were marketing that. This is the MODL outdoor infinity tool. So it is just a loop. This is effectively a soft carabiner or a tie-down strap or a bunch of different things. You can do a lot of different stuff with this little tool. So they have two different lengths. They come in either a 2-pack or 4-pack. There is a 16 and an 8-inch version, and that's really all there is to it. And they are adjustable gear ties. So you can just tie something down, clip it, and then whatever's in here is gonna be secured. You can also use it as like a reusable zip tie. Just cinch this down, lock it into place, and you have effectively what is a gear tie, cable tie, or a reusable zip tie. But you can just tie stuff up with it as well, right? So you can put like a bag. We'll just use another one of these as an example. Imagine this is the strap on the top of your backpack. Put this on your backpack, you can loop this through, and then you can also loop this around a hook or something, right? And you've got your backpack hanging. You can put it over a tree branch, whatever. These things are infinitely useful, hence the name Infinity Tool. I'm gonna be honest, when I first got these arrived in my P.O. box ages ago. I have no idea how long ago it was, and I was like, that's weird, I don't know what that is, and I tossed them aside. Stuff comes in all the time, I don't always check everything out. These came, this is one that I was like, I don't know what to do with this, threw it to the side. At Georgia Bushcraft, and actually just before Georgia Bushcraft, I saw people starting to get these, and I saw how people were actually using them, and I was like, oh crap, that thing's actually really cool and super useful. So the hero clip is something that in a previous version of the EDC Weekly, or the unusual EDC, I like that. I use it how I was explaining this, putting a backpack on and you can loop and hook the backpack to other things. That is actually, I think, less useful than one of these little infinity loops. You can chain these things together. This is 16 inches, this is 8. You can put them together and you have a 24-inch loop. You can put two 16s together. You can string them together indefinitely, and they have a weight rating of 70 pounds. And then if you loop it more than one time, you're doubling that weight capacity. So 140 if you loop this thing twice around. So I think they're very, very, very cool. I think a 4-pack of them is $35. They're not super expensive, not super cheap. They're around the same price as a Hero clip, but you can do so much more with them. I have barely scratched the surface with them, but I have quite a few. I gave some of them away to a friend, but yeah, I will be interested to see how these really end up fitting into my life. I will definitely be using them, may end up buying some more. All right, now we're gonna get into something that I think is undoubtedly a little more chintzy, but it is actually useful. I have kept these around. I've used them sometimes. Camping last weekend, these came in handy because I forgot all my other utensils. This is called Outlery, and I actually purchased this for a previous unusual EDC video, and I just didn't put it in there. And this time I felt like I should, because I have actually used them. And effectively what this is a little kit. It's not a mess kit, but a silverware kit, I guess. Basically you have these threaded rods, they go together, one end is capped off, and then on the other side you can put like a spoon, for example. You can also build a fork if you would like, and you still have more parts, and you can make a knife. So you can have a complete silverware set, and it packs down into something a little smaller than an Altoids tin. There is a knife, and I do think it would be sharp enough to be a steak knife, allegedly. Or you can also have a set of chopsticks. This is a complete silverware kit, chopsticks included, although you can't have like a fork, knife, spoon, and chopsticks, which, why would you ever really need that, right? You don't need that. This is definitely better than plastic cutlery that you're gonna throw away. This is not something I'm gonna throw in my pocket as they suggest on their Amazon page. Big, it's something I'm gonna keep in my truck or my backpack, fine, but I do think the price is a little wrong. 50 bucks for a knife, a spoon, a fork, and a pair of chopsticks that are steel and you have to assemble every single time. Honestly, deep down, if it weren't for the video when I was gonna put these in, or this video, I would just be using a set of titanium chopsticks and a titanium spork, both of which you can get for 30 bucks or so, like together, and you're set. Like that's everything. I already have a knife in my pocket. I don't need this knife. So Outlery, I think it's fine. It's cool. It's come in handy, but the price is not right. And this last little thing, this also arrived in my P.O. box. This thing is definitely a bit gimmicky. Not a bit gimmicky, it's a lot gimmicky. And I'd never heard of the brand before. Pichi, P-I-C-H-I. Looks like a little Christmas stocking. What's in here, you might ask? This is the X2. It is a lot of things. First and foremost, it is a pry bar in titanium. It has a bottle opener, because of course it does. It has a nail puller. This is a 1/4-inch bit driver or wrench, which get lots of leverage, like a T-handle wrench. You also have a scalpel blade that is replaceable, because that's something that you always need in a pry bar. And then this is the reason I included this thing. It has a nearly universal wrench. You slip this on, we'll have to use my pinky, slip this on and then torque, and it grabs. It auto adjusts to whatever size you're trying to turn, and it grabs hard. It works well. I just don't know that I've ever thought or needed one in a pry bar. This is just one of those things that it's doing too much, right? There's so much going on here that it's a little too much. This tool, the X2, I don't know why it's called the X2, is $100 right now on their website. I think $130 originally. With the sheath, it's $150, it's $120 right now. I don't know if they're running a sale or they're just not moving. I don't know. I don't know anything. I've never talked to this company. This thing just arrived in my P.O. box. The thing that really strikes me as super odd is that it comes with this leather sheath. Okay, no biggie, whatever, leather sheath. But it also has a pocket clip. But the pocket clip is in the middle of the damn thing. So if you were going to use the pocket clip, what? Why? What? That's terrible. Like, that thing is more out of my pocket than it's in. Put a pocket clip on the sheath and then this in the sheath, like, that's fine. This is one of those items that, like, if it were just this wrench, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. A wrench and a pry, fine. But the scalpel, the bit driver, the bottle opener, the pocket clip, it's just a little too much for me. Regardless, there it is, the Pichi X2, and that is the end of the list. That's 7 unusual EDC items. Let me know what you think. Is there stuff on this list that you don't think is all that unusual? Is there something you think I should check out for the next unusual EDC video? Let me know in the comments down below. But that's it for now. I'll see you guys in the next video. If you want to support what I'm doing here, you can go to patreon.com/bestdamnedc. And also everything I talked about in this video will be linked down below. Some of those things, only some of them, are affiliate links. If you purchase using one of those links, it does help support what I'm doing here by giving me a little bit of a kickback. Doesn't cost you anything extra. But I'll see you guys in the next video. And until then, carry on.